So it's Saturday, 12th December. I don't know what's the date today. Saturday, 12th December, 2009. We had my uncle's funeral in the morning, and then we had, the reunions, school reunions. We had that, and we are leaving Bendo, going to Flora Park, Kopolokwane. So as we're driving on a four-way stop, we just had a big bang, a huge rock that was thrown by they were waiting. Stark Park Kamogodimo, it's a very safe, those who know Polokwane know, just above Savannah Mall. This rock went through the window into my friend's skull because he broke his skull, basically, cracked his skull, and it ended on my thighs. And at this point, we're noticing there's two other people coming from this side and one from this side. They were waiting in the bushes.
Yeah.
And that's how it happened. To cut a very long, traumatic story short, they took everything else, thought they took the car keys, left him there to die because they fought with him, stabbed him a couple of times, and he was bleeding. When they dragged me, he was lying in a pool of blood. I was certain that he had passed away. They took me. The three of them raped me over and over again. They were taking turns. This started about probably 6:37 because and I have no idea at what point did they let me go, when they had decided they didn't have the guts to kill me and they were done raping me. So at this point, it's very dark. They dragged me back to the car. So this guy thought he took the car keys out of the ignition. Kanti, Benz is a strong car. He only pulled the key holder because they were doing things very fast. Two white men came, found my friend lying in a pool of blood, dragged him, towed the car to the hospital. Fortunately, before he got into the coma, he said, listen, she's got a scar on her forehead. She's wearing a pink top and blue jeans. They must have taken her because now I'm here and I can see she's not here. Then he went into the coma. So I was still with those guys, obviously, for the larger part of the evening. If my memory serves me right, by the time they had left, they left me there, and I just walked clearly on the other side of Bendo by the garage, and this lady was driving past, and she just stopped because she saw me walking down alone and I was a mess. Then she said to me, look, it was almost 12:30. Yes, 12:30 midnight. Luckily, the cops were passing, the ambulance was passing, so she had to wave and stop them and say, guys, I'm with this person here. They said, no, it's impossible that she's here because these people were hijacked on the other side. She's like, whatever it is that happened, this person must have crossed over onto the little mountain cliff to the other side. Because they were dragging me along just up the whole night, dragging me to where they could possibly kill me and I wouldn't be found because it's a mountainous, yes. All right, the cops came and they said no, and then they said, okay, look, she's wearing a pink top and blue jeans, because I could hear her shouting at them while I was in her car because she dragged me into her car. The cops came, the ambulance came, they took me to hospital. And another important part that I never want to not say is that the moment you are raped, you need to be tested for HIV. If you are found to already be negative, you start the treatment called PEP, post-exposure prophylaxis. And they had to take me through how to take it. You take it about 6 pills. The importance of PEP is you don't contract HIV and AIDS. It's comprised of antiretrovirals, contraceptives, and antidepressants because we become very suicidal at the moment of it just happened. And they took me through the mini counseling of you are HIV negative, how come? So in order for you to not contract HIV and AIDS from any of the people that raped you, and another important factor, to not fall pregnant because they were penetrating inside of me, you have to take this treatment diligently every day for the next 30 days.
Okay.
So then I got through that, and then I obviously refused to stay for the night. I just could not. The cops took a statement of sorts, came to our house, I think 2 days later, to say no, confirming the details, the phone numbers, the family phone numbers, the address, this, the phones that were stolen in the car, etc. A good 2 weeks later, we get a call. No, the forensic kit Sandra is missing, so the case is dropped. We will call and find out what is happening. This is 2009. It was, I think, the first week of January 2010. Naturally, I went through the process of this happened to me. Apparently, allegedly, there was 2010 World Cup. I didn't see any of it because I was just depressed. I had a serious phobia for men. I could not, for the life of me, sit with a man like this. So I had to obviously be removed from Polokwane and come to be in isolation in Montana because my father felt like, okay, this is the safest place. And unfortunately, Flora Park, when I open my window, I see the mountain from Flora Park to there. So it was just too traumatic for me to be in the area. And because I was sensitive to smells, I can smell people. If you have a scent that is very similar to one of my rapists, it just messes up with my day. So 2010, I was just in isolation, trying to heal and just trying to adapt back into society. Psychologists, Christian counselors. I became depressed. I became suicidal. I was a mess. And I picked myself up, I think, around about August, September, October, November. That's when I said, no, girl, you matriculated. 2009 was actually my matric year. And because I went to a private school, my matric dance was going to be on the Monday. I missed that, and I was the head girl at school. And I had to adjust back into society and say, okay, my friends are in varsity. This year in Naki Duji, depressed. I was a mess. I could not even read. I was highly medicated the whole year. I was big now because another thing women need to understand is when you take the medication, it makes you eat a lot if you have food. Because I've got instances where the people don't even have enough food. It makes you eat a lot and you gain weight. That deals with your self-esteem. That deals with your confidence. You are nauseous. You vomit. You throw up. You have diarrhea and you're vomiting. Life just becomes something else. And I'd really like to say this. It's unfortunate because when you check Wikipedia, it says that in South Africa we are the capital of rape in the world. Yeah. In South Africa alone, every 30 seconds, I think, 30 seconds, a woman is raped. Yes. So that means in a minute, it's 2 women. So in an hour, it's 120 women that are raped. So as we're speaking in South Africa, in an hour's time, there's 120 people that are raped, women and children. So what about those who don't even have? Now I spoke about psychologists. I went to psychologists. My dad is a medical professor. I went to counseling. I had psychiatrists. I was eating the right food, taking the right medication, being seen by all these specialists. It's not the case with everybody else. So 2011, I picked myself up, did first, second, and third year, graduated 2014, got a job in the bank, started working in the bank. But 2014 got laid in my heart that it's time now. You've gained your confidence back. I'm still in the process of healing. I always say to people, I'm healing. I don't want to stand in front of people and say I've healed. Wow. So in the process of healing, God laid in my heart that no, it's time to open an organization where I can help women and children that have been abused. I'm just a business management graduate. I don't have money. I don't even have a child. Thank to God, I'm HIV negative. I'm single, I'm not married. Lord, how am I going to do this? And God said, no, start. He gave me a vision to just be the mediator. If somebody calls from my Facebook page and says, listen, my love sister was gang raped yesterday, or the lady next door is being raped, what do? I intervene. I call Muruti and I say, Muruti, where are you? I'm like, good, I have a case there, this street, I can't do anything about it, you handle it, call the cops. So I used to work a lot with the rape unit. I work with police, I work with pro bono lawyers, psychologists, social workers are always on call that listen, there's a case, Koma Melody, there's a case in Durban, and I get cases from Cape Town, Durban, KwaZulu-Natal, you name it. People that find me on Facebook and say, listen, I heard you on radio, I read an article in a newspaper, I saw something about you on Facebook, how can you help me? I'm still dealing with rape. I was raped a long time ago, or I was raped yesterday, or my dad rapes me every day. My brother, my uncle, the transport driver, he picks me, he drops me off later and. So that's when I started working on my organization. I resigned from my job to focus on it on a full-time basis and obviously work at church. So that's been my life. Last year, June, my mother calls and says, Sandra, I can just hear the Holy Spirit is not going to let me give me your number. When I'm Mama Kimang. Sandra, I can see I don't understand what's happening. I take my phone, hello. I can't say his name, obviously. I don't know if I'm allowed to. Okay, how can I help you? No, I'm in prison. COVID bank Otrongo. I have your docket. My docket is wrong. Your docket. There are 2 guys here in prison who said they raped you in some December almost 10 years ago. They want to kill you. 2020, they're going to be released. They surveillance you on Facebook, like you were saying.
Yo.
They have my address on the docket. In Flora Park. They have my mother's number. Those 2 phones that were stolen on the day had the cell phone numbers that are on the docket. So they both don't work. Yaka and my friends. They both don't work. So the only number that worked was my mother's on the docket. So that's the one he used. How do you have my docket? No, it was sold to them. I stole from them. I obviously don't believe that. I believe that he's one of the 3 when he says the 2 others are with him. So the 3 of them are with me, are with him in prison. They have my docket. Now they're demanding all sorts of things, weapons, money. Now I must come to.
They demand weapons from you.
From me. He says no. You need to come. Well, now I get it. Like I said, I don't believe him. But let's focus on what he's saying. He says, this is my name. I'm in Witbank Otrong. There are 2 prisoners. There are 2 guys here that said they raped you. We're in 2 rival groups. I get there are gangs in prison. I stole the docket from them. They bought it from the police. They are surveillancing you. Every time you're in a newspaper or radio, we are hosting events. I host a lot of events. I'm invited at a lot of women's conferences, youth camps, women events. Radio stations call me all the time. Everything you do, they know where you are. They even know that right now you're living in Pretoria. You left Nedbank or Pretoria. They know which church you're working for. They even have your home address. So you need to help me get rid of them because they are going to be released. And remember, they are not charged for your case because they have your docket with them. So that's where I am right now. I tried to call the number. He sent me the docket via Facebook inbox.
Sure.
To prove to me that we have you. I have almost 5,000 friends on Facebook. I have my cases that I get from Facebook. I have my organization's Facebook page on Facebook. I have events that I advertise on Facebook. Just you were talking about the self-defense classes that I'm hosting. I hosted the first one on Sunday. So do I deactivate my Facebook? My businesses, my small businesses that I start, I have small businesses where I sell slippers in winter and everything that I do, I advertise on Facebook. Now they're surveillancing me from there. So what now? No, you need to send me a weapon or money or so I can get rid of these people.
Did he name the price?
He just said money and a weapon so he can get rid of the other 2 that he claims are going to be released. So obviously I don't know what to do. I take the docket, Haki Zuma, the number, the police investigating officer and the unit that was dealing with my rape case does not exist anymore. I'd say the line. I tried for the whole of last year. I've been speaking to people. I'm saying, guys, I need help because at the end of the day, I'm not safe. My family address, my home address is on the docket. They have it. If they were indeed released in 2020, then they're probably still surveillancing me. If they know the address that I'm here, they probably know I'm in Pretoria in the CBD right now. So I was asked to speak on one of these Zoom meetings, a presidential one, Women's Charter review or something. And I spoke about this. And after that, I got a call. This was about 2 months ago. I got a call from the police. They said, phone number, when you were raped. But was it a commander or investigating officer, brigadier or something? How are you asking me this? Linyaka the phone number are the phones that they actually stole at this stage. Next week it will be 10 years of when it happened to me. Are you aware? Where is my docket? No, we're dealing with the investigation. remember they heard me on a public platform that was even on the news, right? I've been on all sorts of radio stations talking about my story because I need somebody to hear it and get me proper help. Because at this stage, I am not going to the police station. I am not opening another case. I am not giving these people my address because when I open a case, they are going to ask for my address so that they can deliver. No, I'm not safe from the police themselves. I need somebody higher than that to come deal with my case. I said, listen, no, this is your number now. WhatsApp of what you're talking about. I sent them everything and they still have not done anything about it. I get a call from them 2 days later saying, no, the nearest police station in Pretoria and open a cyber crimes case so that cyber crimes unit can find out who sent it to you via Facebook. I said, no, I'm not going to do that because Muruti, I'm not safe.
They know.
I'm not safe.
Yeah.
And if it means me going forward with this thing, a few people need to be fired for selling my case. Because I fortunately, by the grace of God, had somebody in the SAPS check on the system. My case appears in 4 different provinces.
Yeah.
How can I be raped in 4 different provinces? On the system here, SAPS, it's got loops and holes and loops and holes. They said to me, no, we had arrested one person who was linked to your forensic kit. Which forensic kit? Because the forensic kit went missing. And then, no, there is no Motswara. He went through the what role. I don't know what role it is. And then they ended up him being released. And I said, look, okay, I'm still today, get December. In a couple of days, it will be 10 years since this thing happened to me. This is what allows people to continue. We women are suffering. I counsel so many different women on all levels, professionals, children, teenagers, little girls, men in South Africa get aroused by an old 85-year-old woman and they will gang rape her. That's the state we are in South Africa, and the cops still do what they're doing. So obviously there's an army of people who know about my story that are praying for my safety, and that one day we'll get justice and be able to walk into a court and those people will be put to book. And we're just waiting for that. So I stress that women must talk. Bolelang, I know it's difficult to say I was raped. I know the women that are listening, people that are listening must know that they always need to talk. No matter what happens, they need to talk because it's important to go and take PEP. I'm HIV negative, I'm without child. There are women that are sitting with children and they can't even say to their family, I was raped. You know, think about the ripple effects, and the ripple effects in South Africa of rape are so big we are not noticing it. Women are becoming the ones that are killing men these days. That rate is going higher. Do you know why? We are a very angry nation of women. If in an hour 120 women and children are raped in South Africa, how many toddlers, teenagers are being raped at this point? And our sons are going to marry HIV positive girls that have been raped by their brothers and uncles and neighbors. Women are angry. The rate of mental health illness problems in women, suicide, it's worse now because we have so many of them that don't talk, that have never taken PEP, that are HIV positive, that are depressed and anxious out of their minds. Sitting with men, sometimes it appears to me, and I panic. I remember my mother used to get so confused. I cannot stand being in public transport. I'm not special. Public transport. But the reality of one day I can be in a taxi but with only 2 or 3 men, I will freak out. And this is why sometimes it's important that men must just step up. I can't stress this enough. Men must step up into the position of protecting women, of speaking to each other, grooming boys. Bashimani, what you said was so important earlier. That boys start raping at the tender age of 13. And at raping 14 or 15-year-olds, they're raping 8, 6, 7-year-olds that they're playing with most. What more in their teenagehood when they have adolescence, they're trying to discover, when they're discovering what sperm is, they can see, oh, I'm having, konje, what do they call, wet dreams, that this thing works, it gets aroused, there's feelings towards it. So